When Target dropped their DEI program at the beginning of the year, my business was one of the ones affected. And soon after that, I received this bill. This is a bill for $5,000 because Target decided that they needed to mark down every piece of inventory that they had of ours in order to clear it out while they were resetting their inventory.
Hey guys, so now we're seeing something else coming out of this whole Target situation. It's not just about the boycott anymore. Now Black-owned brands are getting hit with outstanding bills, like they're the ones responsible for Target's losses. See, usually when big companies like Target order your products, they pay up front. That's just how business is supposed to work. But from what I'm hearing, these Black-owned brands are now being left with bills because Target started discounting their products just to get them off the shelves. And now, instead of support, they're stuck trying to cover the difference. And if that wasn't enough, even Tabitha Brown had to speak up about what's really going on with her inventory at Target. It's crazy how these big companies love to highlight Black businesses when it makes them look good. But soon as things get rough, we're the first to feel the heat. Now, later in this video, I'm going to talk about how we can step up and support these Black-owned brands the right way by going directly to their websites or stores, cutting out the middleman. But first, let's take a look at what's really happening and hear what these Black-owned brands that sell their products in Target had to say about their experience.
And while we're talking about DEI and how it affects the businesses that participated in Target's DEI program, I just want to remind folks that one of the risks of taking on a large retail account is that they will decide to drop your account and then they'll send you a bill for all the markdowns. When Target dropped their DEI program at the beginning of the year, my business was one of the ones affected. And soon after that, I received this bill. This is a bill for $5,000 because Target decided that they needed to mark down every piece of inventory that they had of ours in order to clear it out while they were resetting their inventory. And I'm blocking out my buyer's email address, and thankfully he didn't want this to impact us, so he decided to waive the charges. But not all businesses are that fortunate, and that is a risk of taking on a large account. Also, thankfully, there were a lot of things that I did not like about participating in that program, that particular program at Target. So I think everything kind of worked out for the best, but that could have been a huge cost to us as a business that was unexpectedly dropped from Target. Oh, also on another note, the businesses that are being affected by the boycott in Target right now could be facing these same type of risks. So this is just a reminder to continue to support the businesses that you love, that you were shopping in Target, whether on their direct-to-consumer stores or in other stores, so that it can sort of offset that cost to them.
People keep asking my opinion about Target as a Black vendor who used to sell at Target. Don't go there. They dropped us. They dropped us along with a bunch of other Black vendors without a lot of notice. We have 20,000 units in our warehouse now that we're trying to sell on our website, www.likeyoucards.com. There are tons of other creators of color who had contracts that were dropped. So yeah, support people, small businesses via their websites, not Target.
It has been a tough week, right? And baby, it's been a tough 2025 and we are still in January. But I know many of you are asking and have asked and sent me messages about the recent DEI announcements at Target as well. And as disheartening as it is for me, I'm not the only one affected by this, right? It's for everyone who is a woman-owned business, minority-owned businesses, Black-owned businesses. It's for so many of us who work so very hard to be placed into retail, to finally be seen and approved for retail. Because contrary to whatever the world might tell you, it has been very hard for Black-owned businesses to hit shelves, right? Which is why it's such a big deal when we do. when we do finally land inside of retail. So it is definitely heartbreaking to feel unsupported, right? However, I am in business in multiple ways, with Target, with Walmart, and Amazon, right? I sell Donna's Recipe, my hair care products, right, are on Amazon. They're also in Target. And of course, I have a huge partnership with Target. I sell my seasonings at Walmart. I do business all over, just like many other people. And what I can tell you is, if we all decide to boycott and be like, no, we're not spending no money at these organizations. Listen, I get it. And if that's how you feel, honey, I 1000% get it. But so many of us will be affected, and our sales will drop. Our business will be hurt. And if any of you know business, it doesn't just happen overnight where you can just go take all your stuff and pull it off the shelves. There's a process. And then you got to, like, where are you going to put it? You got to have a place to store it. That's money, right? You got to have another place to sell it, which is almost impossible sometimes. And even if you sell online, it's a process when it comes to business. And everyone does not have the funds or the means or the availability, the space to house their own products, right? But the thing that concerns me the most, and I want you to hear me and hear me well, if we all decide to stop supporting said businesses and say, I can't buy nothing from there, even the businesses who were affected by the DEI ban, right? What that does is you take all our sales and they dwindle down. And then those companies get to say, oh, your products are not performing. And they can remove them from the shelves and then put their preferred businesses on the shelves. And then what happens to all the businesses who've worked so hard to get where they are? Then what happens, right? Now, I know that something that could solve it is ownership of these big corporations, right? It's a long way to go there. There are amazing companies like the Village Market in Atlanta, right, who support small businesses, and you can go in there and there's some amazing things that you can buy, but it's one store and it's very small. We're talking about mass market. You can't build that overnight. Do we all sometimes have these big dreams and aspirations to do that? Absolutely, right? But it is easier said than done, but it's not impossible. But until then, and in order to get there, we unfortunately have to play the game. And in playing that game, we got to be smarter than the ones who think they're in control, okay? And I say that to say, don't allow trying to be mindful with how I say this, because I want God to give me the right words, but don't allow foolishness to take us into separation and weed us out. Do you understand? Because sometimes that's what they want. And in times like this, they're telling us that. Okay?
Now look, if you really want to make a difference, here's where it starts. These are some of the Black-owned brands that are currently selling in Target. These are businesses built by us, for us, and they deserve more than just shelf space. They deserve our full support. But here's the key. You don't have to wait on Target or any big company to do right by them. You can support these brands right now by going straight to their websites and buying direct. That way, the money goes straight to the people building the business. No middleman, no markups, just real support for our community. This whole situation with Target just shows us, again, why we can't rely on big corporations to be the gatekeepers of our culture or our progress. When things get rough, they'll always protect their bottom line. That's why we have to be the ones who stand up for our people, our businesses, and our future. So if this video spoke to you, drop a comment below. Let me know. Are you still shopping at Target? Have you supported any of these brands directly? Let's talk about it. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so we can keep having these real conversations and shining light on what's happening in our community. Until next time, stay woke, stay united, and remember, we are the economy and we are the power. Let's move like it.